I don't know about you, but I'm actually excited to see the Senators play this season. They signed some key UFAs, made some pretty decent trades. They have some young players who are coming of age and some rookies who are going to hit the ground running, a.k.a. hello, Tim Stützle. So let's start off with the key arrivals, beginning with Matt Murray, the goaltender they got from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, he's 6'4", 178 pounds, 26 years old, has a birthday in May, and they gave him a 4-year deal worth $6.25 million. Some see that as a little much/risky because the past few seasons he's been up and down, right? In 38 games, he was at .899 save percentage this past season, and in 3 games in the playoffs, he was a .914. Which isn't bad, but when Carey Price is on the other end, you know, you got to be better. And I'm sure he wanted at least 1 or 2 of those goals back. So now in 2018-19, the season before, he was actually pretty good, a .919 in 50 games, but then a .906 in the playoffs. And then 2017-18, he was a .907 and a .908 in the playoffs. This all coming off of back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, which built a lot of expectations on him, didn't they? So, and at this young age, you know, and then he had some personal issues. His father passed away, I believe, and some injury problems as well. If anyone needed a reboot, it was him. So, I think this is a decent risk to take for Ottawa. So, I'm thumbs up for that one. Next up, let's talk about Evgeny Dadonov. Former Florida Panthers, who they picked up in the UFA market. 5'11", 185 pounds. He's a left shot. He's 31 years old, has a birthday in March. He's from Russia, plays both wings. And they gave him a 3-year deal worth $5 million per, which I think is fair. I mean, he's money in the bank for 20 goals a season, right? And I know there's only 56 games being played this season, but he should come very close to that, if not make that mark. Last season in 69 games, 25 goals, 47 points, a -7. In 4 games in the playoffs, he had 1 assist plus 1, okay? But the 2 seasons before that, he put up 28 goals back-to-back. So this guy's got it, and he's a veteran. He'll slot in on that first line, obviously, I would guess on the right side. Next, moving along here, Austin Watson, who they grabbed from Nashville Predators. He's got 3 years left on his deal at $1.5 million. He's a 4th liner who can keep the flies off the kids, right? Last season, he had 14 points, -9. They actually scratched him for some games. He only played 53, but he did play 4 playoff games with zeros across the board. Next, he may even sit out a few games here and there to get some kids in the lineup. Next, we've got Alex Galchenyuk, another sort of reclamation project here. 6'1", 207 pounds, 26 years old only, has a birthday in February, though, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Plays both wings and center, but I think he'll be playing left wing for them, most likely on the 2nd or 3rd line, if I were to guess, which most pundits seem to think anyways. And between Pittsburgh and Minnesota last season, in about 54 games, 63 games, math. He had 8 goals and 24 points. He was a -5. In 4 games in the playoffs, he kind of disappeared. He was a -2. He's still young enough to bounce back, though. So, but he knows he's going to have to fight for it. Did I mention he was only signed for 1 year at $1.05 million, so not much risk there. Next, let's talk about a defenseman, a right shot, Eric Gudbranson, hulk of a human being, 6'5", 217 pounds. He's 28, he'll be 29 in January, though, and is from Ottawa, Ontario. Now, he's been around. Remember, he was a former first-round pick, 3rd overall. Picked by Florida in 2010. I've forgotten about that. Now, he won't put up much points, but his plus-minus and his defense got better in Anaheim and in Pittsburgh, as opposed to in Vancouver, where it was just awful. So he's another nuclear deterrent to keep the flies off the kids, this time on the back line. Next, we've got Connor Brown, one of my favorite players on the Senators. when he was with the Leafs, he was one of my favorites there too. I'm an old Leaf fan. I'm from there. He plays both wings. He's the Swiss Army knife, really, of players. Penalty kill, power play, you name it, he does it. Now, he's 26. He has a birthday in January, though. He's from Etobicoke, Ontario, 6 foot, 186 pounds. Last season, he made a record for assists and points. In 71 games, he had 16 goals, 43 points, -6. And remember, in his first full season with Toronto, he had 20 goals. He's capable of that. That was 82 games. And he's got a bunch of playoff experience, too. Well, mostly it was with Toronto. So, yeah, anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Chris Tierney, the center that they re-signed. He should be playing either second or third line center, depending on some other players I'll mention later. Now, they signed him to, where is he? 2 years to a $3.5 million deal. Fair, right? They got him in that trade with San Jose and the Erik Karlsson deal. Now 6 foot 1, 195 pounds from Keswick, Ontario. He's 26. He had a birthday in July, and in 71 games last season, he had 11 goals, 37 points, -6. Next up, we've got Nick Paul, a depth player. He should be playing on the bottom side left wing, I would imagine. He's only 25, has a birthday coming up in March, from Mississauga, Ontario, 6 foot 3, 219 pounds. Last season, in 56 games, he had 9 goals, 20 points, a 0 in the plus-minus category. Now, let's start talking about some of the younger players and some of the rookies here. Starting with Logan Brown, the center, who could very well make the lineup this year. Now, he's played for them on and off over the past few seasons, but played 23 with them last season, the most in his career so far in the Bigs, with 1 goal and 8 points, a 0 in the plus-minus category. And he, in 25 games in the AHL, 7 goals, 28 points, +7. Some insiders see him playing on either the third line or the fourth line center. So that means he's got to bump someone off like an Anisimov. I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe they try. I think Anisimov is in his last year of his deal. Maybe they try and trade him before the deadline, and if Logan Brown is the real deal, and retain some money or something, get a draft pick out of it. Next, let's talk about Igor Sokolov from Russia, 6'4", 223 pounds, 20 years old, had a birthday in June, and hasn't played in the NHL, but has been tearing apart the Q piece by piece. In 52 games last season, he had 46 goals, 92 points, and is a +38. Wow, yeah, so most pundits don't have him making the team, though, but he seems way too good for the Q/CHL. He is 20 years old, so I think he should be able to play in the AHL, but you should see him in training camp. Next, let's talk about Joshua Norris. He's got a lot of promise. Another center, left shot, 21, had a birthday in May, 6'1", 192 pounds, from Oxford, Michigan, and did play 3 games with the Sens, 0 points, +2. In 56 games in the AHL, 31 goals, 61 points, +9. The insiders think he'll play either second or third line center. A lot of players at center here. Something's got to give, right? But I definitely think he'll make the lineup at a training camp. Now, Tim Stützle. What took me so long to get to this kid, right? You already know he's a fantastic player from Germany, 6 foot, 187 pounds, 18 years old, although he's got a birthday in January. And he's from, I mentioned already, he's from Germany. He should be playing on the second or third line wing spot because he's a left wing /center. So yeah, so we'll see how, really super excited, as well as everybody else, to see him on the ice. Next, Alex Formenton, who's a left shot, left wing from King City, Ontario, 6'2", 265 pounds. Needs some more meat on his bones there. He has played some games with the Senators, but last year spent it all in the AHL in 61 games, 27 goals, 53 points, +8. Most pundits see him cracking the lineup on the left side, second or third center, maybe even fourth line, left wing, excuse me, not center. Next, let's talk about Erik Brannstrom. He was up playing for the Sens last season, did play 31 games, played in the AHL as well. He should be making the team this season, and he's been playing in Europe. Where in 10 games he has 2 goals and 8 points, and is a +5 this season right now. So look for him to be on the bottom left side, third pair D right there. Next, let's talk about Artem Zub, a player they signed to the KHL, 6'2", from Russia, 198 pounds. He's a right shot defenseman, 25. I just had a birthday in October. Had some really good defensive numbers in the KHL. Last season, 57 games, 22 points, +35. Half the pundits see him making the team, possibly on the second or third pairing on the right. And lastly, I want to speak of Maxime Lajoie. He is a left shot defenseman who's 23 years old, had a birthday in November. He's from Calgary, Alberta, 6'1", 196 pounds. He's had some look-sees with the Senators. He had 6 games with them last season, 56 the year before. Did play in the AHL last season as well, 48 games, 4 goals, 17 points, -1. He may need to marinate for another year. None of the pundits have him in the lineup. We'll see. Now, I'm sure there's players I'm missing here. There's just too many. If there's someone in particular that you like to mention, let me know in the comment section below. How do I grade this team in their offseason? I got to give them a B+. I think they did really well. They plugged some holes. They're still thin, down the middle and on defense, and somewhat inexperienced here and there. But they're going to be good. My profile picks here: best acquisition, Dadonov. The sleeper, Matt Murray. The dark horse, Alex Galchenyuk. Best bang for the buck, Connor Brown. And don't forget about Logan Brown, who seems to have a good shot at this lineup. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. Please celebrate by hitting that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out, which will be about the Calgary Flames, but that won't happen until around the new year. This is probably my last video for a little bit, the next 10 days or so. So I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all that jazz. And I'm going to be doing one more video about some big news for this channel. It'll be a short one. It'll probably come out tomorrow. And that it's a launch of sorts that's going to happen around New Year's Eve. So there's that too. Thanks again. Please be kind to each other out there, and I'll see you soon.